quite startling.
I see what you mean.
I'm a Frank Lloyd Wright man myself, you know what I mean.
Never heard of him on Henley on Thames.
What does Elliot think of it?
Amazing. I can't get over it, but he just loves it. Says it's changed his whole world. He's been celebrating since 9 o'clock this morning. And you know what? Even before the gazebo was up, when they were pouring the cement into the foundations, tears came into his eyes.
Tears?
He drank half a bottle of champagne and played that ghastly minuet full blast 48 times. There was only 2 minutes of silence when the crane dropped the gazebo into the foundations. And you know what? He swayed to attention, and he saluted, and he said, "God bless Harry, England, and St. George." There's only been one cloud on the horizon. That's that he can't find his brown and white catchable.
I bet you hid them.
I did. But it's only wishful thinking. I keep hoping, out of sight, out of mind.
Somebody turn off the music?
Yeah, Elliot, we got the message. So did Brooklyn.
Oh, Hollow, my old pal. You're a bit late, but I'll give you a drink anyways.
Not for me, thanks, Elliot.
Nonsense! This is a royal occasion, you know.
Elliot, darling, I think we can consider the gazebo well and truly launched.
Well, I'm done with the foundation.
Come on in, Mr. Thorpe. How about a drink?
Oh, no, I'm all right.
Nonsense! What'll it be? Champagne?
That'll be swell, thanks. Good morning, Mr. Anderson.
Good morning.
All right. Here you go, Charlie.
Thank you.
Real fine work out there, Charlie. Elegant. That's the word for it, elegant. There's history out there.
To history, the Gazebo, and all that lies beneath.
What lies beneath?
Why, yes, the great, good, fresh soil of the U.S. of A.
Mr. Thorpe, how soon before the concrete set? I mean, how long before Mr. Nash can use the gazebo?
Oh, give it a couple hours. It's probably right around 3 o'clock.
Elliot, I'm so glad to see your own self again. Say, we can start the new routine this afternoon. Tea in the gazebo, with your work. Elliot's going to treat the gazebo in a manner to which it has been accustomed.
Is that so?
He's going to take tea in it, real tea, no tea bags, with bread cut within, watercress, and cucumber sandwiches. He's going to sit out there, think beautiful thoughts. Maybe we'll get away from those TV murders and write something you've always been dreaming of. You know, about the one with the lost boy who goes to heaven. What's the matter, darling? Haven't gone off your nice gazebo yet?
Well, thanks, Mrs. Nash. You know, funny thing about the hole in the foundation the other day.
What hole?
Oh, yesterday I came in, I was telling your husband that I had to check the foundation. I found a hole. Well, when I went to check to see if my boys left it, none of them would own up to it.
It's so human. Hate to admit when you're wrong. So human.
And the shovel. When I checked, it wasn't ours. I figured it must have been yours, so I put it back in your cupboard for you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Well, I ought to be off now. Many things to do. Good luck with the gazebo.
Gazebo.
Gesundheit.
I've got to get going too.
See what, Ralph?
But before I go, I have a matter of business to discuss with you first.
Business? I wonder what you're doing here so early in the morning.
He's here for the celebration.
Nell, would you please sit down? Well, I'll get right to the point. Do you know a man by the name of Harry Shelby?
Harry Shelby? No, I don't think so.
You've never heard of him?
No.
Name mean anything to you, Elliot? No. So you haven't met him. He hasn't contacted you.
No, never.
Who is he? What's this all about, Ralph?
Harry Shelby, until recently, was a male nurse at the Hudson Sanitarium. The Hudson Sanitarium, as you know, specializes in getting drug addicts off the hook. Sends them out, cured. Harry Shelby had a brand new racket. He recently left the sanitarium, but when he left, he took with him a carefully selected list of former inmates who are now, shall we say, prominent in the public eye. All of them in an upper wage bracket. Harry Shelby had been blackmailing them, threatening to give the inmates' former record to scandal magazines unless said former inmates paid him to keep quiet. What does it have to do with us? Nell, dear, you were in the Hudson Sanitarium, weren't you?
How did you know this?
Your name was on the list. We found the list in Harry Shelby's apartment.
Oh.
You were an ideal subject for Harry Shelby's blackmailing. A famous actress, you and your husband both rich. He figured you would give quite a bit to keep your story out of the scandal magazines.
It's alright, darling. It's not as bad as it sounds. And It's not the sort of thing one brags about. I was 16, and I was caught smoking my one and only cigarette with a perfectly innocuous friends at school, but it was for a dare. My friends were so scared I'd be hooked that nothing would have it, so they slapped me into the sanitarium for a week. With need I add, negative results.
All the same, you know what a Scandal magazine would do with that story.
If this Shelby character had blackmailed me for it, I would have laughed in his face and said, go right ahead. Then I'd sue the rack for $1 million. Think of the publicity. Elliot, don't look so stricken. They would have been seen in the house for years.
Elliot, did you know about this? The sanitarium?
No, but I see why Nell never bothered to tell me. It's so trivial.
So, neither of you have been contacted by Harry Shelby? Good, that's a relief. You see, Detective Jenkins of Homicide is really in charge of this case. He was checking up on all the names on the list, and he saw your name there now, and called me in. It was a personal friend. And seeing as how this would be a rather embarrassing business, having this all dragged out, well, he called me up and I offered to come here to do the questioning personally.
It's very sweet of you, Harlow.
Yes, very sweet. Say, Hollow, the names on the list, they won't be made public, will they?
No, we'll keep them all underneath rags. Well, except for one name, of course. That one will have to come out in the open, I'm afraid.
One name?
Yeah, the murderer.
Murderer.
Oh, didn't I tell you? Harry Shelby was murdered last night. Well, I've got to get going. Things to do.
Good. How was he murdered? Something painful, I hope?
I'm sorry to disappoint you. He deserved something like that. No, it was just one shot, right in between the eyes.
Well, what happened? Was he taken for a ride, I suppose? Like found in a dark alley?
No. He was found on a nice white rug in his own apartment on West 88th Street. Well, I've got to get going. So long. Bye, Elliot.